Your favorite trans girl is back again. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Victoria. I am a 24-year-old woman of transgender experience, and I make mostly LGBT content here on YouTube. If that is your thing, please make sure that you join our family and hit the subscribe button down below so you can join us and never miss out on a new upload. I'm already taking this off because I had the AC on before filming, and now I turned it off to film and it's very hot. So today I'm doing a makeup transformation. I was going to do a whole just like feminizing tutorial because I've done those before, but I figured I would show you doing the opposite of what I'm going to tell you for feminizing on the other side is masculinizing. So if you are a trans man, or if you are a non-binary person, or just someone that wants to look more masculine, this video is also for you, not just my trans girls. Being that I started my physical transition at 14, I feel like my natural base is pretty androgynous. I have zero makeup on whatsoever right now. I do feel like I look pretty feminine, but I have not touched my face at all yet. I have not gotten any injections, any surgery yet, but this is what I'm working with. I feel like generally you can see like the shape of my face isn't necessarily masculine, but it's not the most feminine face. So I can show you how I play it up with makeup, and also how the tips that I use in reverse will be literally the opposite effect, so masculinizing. Everything that I do is going to be really exaggerated, especially if you are a trans man or a non-binary person and you're trying to pass as a more masculine person. Obviously less is more. You don't want to have like a bunch of makeup on. But even for trans girls, I feel like generally I'm doing a lot, but just take the pieces that you might need from this and apply it to your makeup routine, tone it down maybe, and kind of see what you need. If you've been following me for a long time, then you would know that permanent hair removal and hair reduction has been a huge roadblock in my transition. I used to have to shave my legs every single day, shave my face every single day. I would book laser hair removal appointments at salons. I would book electrolysis appointments, and I have spent hours and thousands of dollars on salon hair removal, and that was only like literally my face in my bikini area. So I thought at this rate I would be spending so much more money and so much more time. So I did some research, and that is when I found Catch Beauty. Catch Beauty's at-home IPL laser hair removal device is my #1 method of hair removal ever. I've been using it for a long time. I've used it on my legs and on my arms, and I started off using it like constantly, like once a week or sometimes even twice a week, because I was really anal about it. But now I just do it like once in a while for touch-ups, and I haven't shaved my legs or my arms in a while. And you can see like there is nothing there. Fahansa is the most effective, affordable, and pain-free method of hair removal on the market, in my opinion. Catch Beauty works wonders for anybody who's a candidate for IPL laser hair removal. And on top of their products, I really love Catch Beauty and what they stand for. They have always supported the trans community. They know that hair removal is a really big part of our transition, and they want to help us even in the hairiest parts of our journeys. So please, if you are interested in supporting the brand as well as supporting me, and most importantly supporting yourself through hair removal, please make sure that you click the link in my description box down below. Check out the Catch Beauty at-home IPL laser hair removal device and use the code ROSE for money off your order. And without any further ado, let's get right back on into the video. I'm gonna move a little bit closer. Actually, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Okay, so here is my face. Absolutely nothing on it yet. I've already done my skincare. I feel like a good moisturizer is better than a primer. So like, if you have larger pores, then go in, especially for the feminizing side. But first off, I'm just gonna do a quick base for both sides so the makeup blends easier. If you don't need it, don't do it. If you need a fuller coverage, go for that. A lot of times people recommend using this right here, which is sort of a color corrector. It's by LA Girl. You can get all sorts of different colors. If you have a shadow on your lip or on your chin or whatever from a beard and you're gonna feminize, I would highly recommend concealing the blue undertones with orange, because those are opposites in the color wheel and they'll cancel each other out. However, I notice a lot of people don't do that properly, and it just ends up making it look orangey and kind of muddy. If you want a tutorial on how to cover beard hair, I'm sure there's a million of them, but it's not really something that I always recommend. Just go for a high coverage foundation. Okay, I'm gonna do a light base on either side, and I will be right back. Okay, so here is the base. I have just sort of a light wash of the Born This Way foundation. It doesn't really matter. If you want something that the makeup's gonna just melt into. Also, I feel like earlier I said it wrong. I'm going to be doing the feminizing side on this side of my face and the masculinizing side on this side of my face. Sorry, the way that I look at the monitor over here is like flipped. So to make sure it's all beat into your face, I didn't set this yet because I'm going to be putting a lot of contour and stuff over it. So I have my little angle brush. I'm going to draw a really quick and gentle line with bronzer down the center of my face. Before we jump in, I want to mention a few things that really change your face depending on gender. So I'll put a picture up right here of what a male versus female face looks like. And this is sort of like a diagram they use when they do facial feminization surgery. So when they do facial feminization surgery, typically what they will do is they will lower the hairline. They will round out the forehead. Biggest thing is they will shave down the brow bone right here. Nose, sometimes they'll change, sometimes they don't. They oftentimes will raise the lip a little bit, and they will shave down the chin and the jaw. Now, I don't have FFS money, so I'm going to go ahead and try and do this with makeup. So for the feminizing side, and for rounding out the forehead, I do have a pretty square forehead, actually. That's one of my bigger insecurities. When I do get FFS, I'm going to get this all lowered and rounded out. But for now, we have makeup. You can still lick my brushes, don't talk about it. So I always start at the hairline and I bring it around just as a base. You're gonna wanna blend it into your hairline as much as possible so that it looks natural and not like you just have random brown parts all over your face. Now you have the first arch started out, I'm just going to go ahead and bring it down just in the areas that you can kind of see. And something that I like to do, a lot of people will do like a semicircle around the face. I like to do almost a full circle. So when I go in and I use the bronzer, you'll especially see I go in not just across to here, but I go on the brow, going up. So I'm trying to actually cut this in so that the brow bone itself looks a lot smaller. Now on the other side, I'm going to actually emphasize this brow bone right here, which you will see with the concealer later. Notice how I'm leaving this space light. I'm gonna go ahead and lighten that up afterwards, but for right now, I'm going to go sort of here, just as like a guide. A lot of people assigned male at birth will have sort of a ridge here, here, and then across their brow. So you wanna emphasize that ridge and this brow. Also, we're going to contour in the temples, which is the opposite of what we're doing on this side. I even go onto the actual brow a little bit just because that's where the bone is, hence the name brow bone. Now for cheeks. This is a huge one with makeup. So you can see naturally I do have pretty round cheeks as I've been in hormones for a long time. So my cheek does kind of go in this way, but before it would go in and then down, connecting to my chin. So we're gonna do that on the masculinizing side. We're gonna go right into the cheekbone and connect to the chin. You can already see a lot of cis women will do this and it looks sort of Angelina Jolie on them. On girls like me, don't even think about doing this because it's not going to give Angelina Jolie, it's going to give Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and that's not what you want. So you want this to go up, like a rounded cheek, even if it's a little fake. Think like Trixie Mattel. I typically start at my tragus, which is this right here. If you can kind of see, I have a ring on it on this side. I start at my tragus and I will gently just do that as a base. So you can see already the difference from that side to this. And then I'm going to go up from here to help with the bronzing, the contouring. Again, leaving the temple free, and we're just kind of going in. Already you can see this side, if I'm gonna just go woo, that side to this side is already a huge difference. For the chin, for feminizing, I used to go in and I would just kind of cut off the edge of the chin, but that doesn't really do much because it just makes the chin stick out more. What I will do sometimes is I'll go in with my bronzer, which you'll see afterwards, and I will kind of just buff it around the chin and I'll buff it down the neck because you want the chin to disappear into the neck. So I'll show you what it looks like when I contour underneath on the masculine side. See how that just made my chin look so much sharper than this, where from afar, maybe you can't really tell, but it really cuts it in a lot. On this side, we're not even gonna touch anything at all. We are also going to be going right where the jawline is and drawing a line there kind of like, I don't know how to describe this, but cis men have almost like a fish-like jaw, or rather biological males typically have like a fish-like jaw, and it comes like up here. If you are going to contour your chin and jaw on the feminine side, I would say always make sure that you bring it down onto your neck. So I'll do a little bit like on under my ear, and not on the actual contour, but just underneath, to kind of encourage it to fade into the background. See that versus that. Now for the nose, typically there isn't really that much of a difference between a male nose and a female nose. If you are a trans girl, you would know we sort of have a lingo amongst us that's you get at least one nose job to break the man out of you. I know, but it's kind of true. So you go in and get your nose done once or twice, because people that see someone with a tiny nose, it is traditionally feminine because females typically get a nose job, not men, but that doesn't mean it's an inherently masculine or feminine nose. What I do notice though is that with the brow bone, because there is a ridge here, there is a dip, and you can kind of see that on me. There's more of a dip here than would be typically on a cis female. And this is all typically, we're not saying all people look this way, but this is just like my experience. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to contour right in here. We're going to connect these. This we're going to leave, and we're actually going to brighten this area up in just a minute. Now under the lip, I actually found this out from Joseph Harwood. I highly recommend checking out Joseph Harwood's videos. That's where I got a lot of my tips. I will link it down in the description box below. Typically, we have sort of a W shadow under our lips, and you can kind of see it on me. I don't do anything to it personally on my face because it's not so prevalent that highlighter hides it. It actually makes it more noticeable. But on the male side, we are going to go in and accentuate that W. So go underneath the lip and then connect. Like that. See the difference? I also have like a chin dimple, and I hate it, but some people love it, but I'm gonna emphasize it there so you can see it on that side, how it like just looks different. Here we have our base. This is just our non-blended contour. I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna blend it, and then I'm going to do the highlighting. Okay, here we are blended. It's kind of hard to see with the ring light the difference, but I think especially with the ridge here, you can see a big difference. Once I highlight, that will be like the big change. So I'm just going to go in with the concealer. This is actually the e.l.f. Hydro Concealer. Oh my god, it's amazing. It's like a cheap Tarte Shape Tape. Okay, so on the feminine side, we're going to kind of accentuate here because we want the center of the forehead to be the center of a circle that is being lit head on. And on the masculine side, we are not doing that. We're actually going to be highlighting the brow bone and this right here. So you can see I actually connected this to my little dip here to highlight that and make it into the full lifted effect. And on this side, I just highlighted the brow bone and this little hump on my forehead right there. And I'm going to highlight just the inner corner here, especially like literally bring light from in here into the dip here, and then highlighting all of this. This I'm just gonna leave as is, especially if you're trying to give like a masculine look. It's really not gonna make much of a difference if you highlight under your eyes. I'll show you what you should highlight though in a minute. And with the highlighting, we're actually gonna bring it down the sides of the nose. This is a lot more feminizing than actually contouring. You can see it just kind of starts to push in the nose. I'm also just gonna do this tip right here because I'm also highlighting the temple. When you place a cheek implant, what happens is this sort of becomes like a wing all the way out, which is why you see it a lot on like Kylie Jenner or Kris Jenner or like all of them. But that's also something to do with facial feminization surgery. So here we are just kind of doing all of that. And then I'm also going to highlight, what you can do is highlight the apples of your cheeks if you don't already have that. So I'll just kind of like boop, just for the hell of it. And I'll also, with not a highlighter, but with a foundation, I will go just underneath the contour and clean that up. Beautiful. And here we are on this side. Now I'm going to highlight on this side. I'm also actually going to clean up with the leftover foundation that I just had and Just run it in there. There we go. And I'm going to highlight here, which is where I just contoured right in front of it. And we're gonna do the side of the chin there. For the chin here, if you do anything for highlighting on the feminine side, just do right underneath here. Oh, and on the side, I'm actually also gonna highlight the jawbone. With a feminine face, you want it to kind of just disappear into your face, be defined, but not like too defined. So here I am defining the jawbone. I'm also, now that I think about it, going to add some highlighter right here on the top of my brow bone, but I'm going to just kind of accentuate it because I think it closes my eye off a little bit, and that's what I want with the masculine look. So here it is. I'm gonna blend it out and you will see the differences. Okay, here we are. I'll blend it out. I think you can really see a difference in the forehead, especially the way that this is just like rounded out a ton and this is not. Now really quickly, I'm just gonna set this all together with just whatever translucent powder you have. I'm using e.l.f. Setting it really helps to really lock in the illusion so that there's no light bouncing off it any weird way that makes it show that it's just makeup. Setting it did actually tone down the makeup a little bit, so I'm gonna go in with the bronzer. I would recommend, instead of a bronzer, using a powder contour, which is a little more on the gray tone, a little more cool. This is definitely more warm, but I'm going to use it anyway because that's what I usually use. So going in with the same places that I just contoured, I'm just gonna go into the hairline on the female side and really emphasize that rounder forehead. Oh, that's really dark. Hold on. Cheekbones for sure. If you're trying to masculinize, I did have my tracheal shave done a long time ago, but you can definitely contour underneath. But what I'm gonna do is I'm going to contour and just make the jaw more defined. So I'm going right underneath the jaw to cut it in, and I'm not even like changing the shape. I'm just making it stand out more. Now under here, my trick is to make it blend in with the neck. So we're going to do all over here with bronzer, all under the ear especially, onto the neck. And then if you want to make it smaller, go in and blend from the neck up to the chin and then up to on the actual jaw. Not like underneath it like we did on this side, but on it like this. The most important part of feminizing a face or masculinizing a face, in my opinion, is brows. So when you get facial feminization surgery, one of the most important things they will do is they will shave down the brow bone and they will lift the brows. So you don't want your eyes to look too hooded. You don't want your eyes to be too downturned. On this side, I'm going to do sort of a thicker, lower down brow, and on this side, I'm going to do higher swooped up, and you will see the difference. Give me 1 second. Do you guys see the difference already that this has made? So look at my eyebrow on this side. I made it a lot thicker. I made it a lot lower, and look at how much it makes my brow bone look like it's just hanging down. Versus this side, everything's just lifted up, including the temple, which this is downturned. This is just, there's so much more eye space on this side of my face versus this. Notice how on this one I made it darker and bushier. This side I made it thinner. I used more of a taupe on this, and I actually used a brow gel and I brushed it up, and it's just a little lighter. It's actually darker than I would have wanted, but it's still really cute and just like a more lifted ponytail lift effect. And this is darker and a little heavier, and it's harsher on the face. Now for eyes, if you are doing a masculinizing look, you can just leave it at this and just go out like this and maybe draw on some facial hair or something. But like, I am going to actually go in and make right here darker on the masculine side and make here darker on the feminine side. So what I'm trying to do is do sort of like a loop on this side of my face and more of like a center focus on the masculine side. For this, I'm just using a taupe, and I'm just gonna go in, you can see here on the feminine side, let me make sure I'm in focus. On the feminine side, I'm just kind of dabbing it very lightly on the outside portion. What this is gonna do is going to soften where my natural orbital bone is and give me more of a lifted effect. I'm trying to do really minimal eye makeup so that you can see the differences that can be achieved. Already, that makes a big difference. I'm gonna leave this light because again, it's the brow bone being articulated, I guess. But I'm gonna go in to here. That is the feminine side. That is the masculine side. Also, on the feminine side, I forgot to mention this, I'm going to go in and I'm just gonna add a little bit of blush. I do feel like blush makes a huge difference when feminizing the face. You don't need to overload it, don't need a ton. This is just kimchi blush. You can just kind of dab it where you feel like you need a little bit of color. On the masculine side, you don't want to add any blush because that is definitely a traditionally feminine item of makeup. And anyone that sees it is going to be like, oh, girly, because there's like pink on your face and it's cute. Anyway, so see the difference here. Feminine, masculine. Oh. Another thing that they do in facial feminization surgery is they actually draw the lip higher. So they'll go and make an incision, typically when they're doing rhinoplasty, underneath the nose, and they'll lift it higher. A traditionally beautiful and feminine face, at resting, you can see some of the front teeth. So think like that. So on this side, we're going to draw up higher. I'm not going to touch the lips at all on this side because obviously I'm not trying to make my lips look bigger. I'm just trying to make them look taller in the center and bring it closer to the nose. I look like I got punched in the face, but I think you can like see. The higher lip really does make a big difference, but just to drive the look home, I'm actually gonna go in and I'm gonna draw on some facial hair. I don't always recommend doing this, especially if you're actually trying to pass as a male. Actually, as I'm seeing my cheek right here, it's so shiny because of my natural structure that I'm just gonna go in and dull that down. That's a little bit better. So I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna draw facial hair on. If you are a trans man or like whatever, and you have some facial hair in there, you can actually just get like a tinted brow thing and do that, and that'll look a lot more natural, but I'm just trying to drive the point home. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my little angle brush wherever I just put it. Hello. I'm gonna go in with the dark brown color and I'm gonna draw on some facial hair. If you ever really wanna trigger your dysphoria, just like do this on your face. I look like Ghost Honey. Oh my god, I look like Ghost Honey. Okay, so I'm gonna throw on some mascara and show you the difference. I'm not gonna put any mascara on this eye. I'll show you with just mascara, but I'm gonna put on a lash and you're gonna be like, whoa. So here we go. Okay, oh my god. Oh my god, oh my god. Oh my god.
Hey there, little lady. How you doing?
I'm fine, sir. I'm sure you don't know what you're talking about. So this is the difference of what makeup can make your face look like if you want to look more masculine or more feminine. I have practiced these techniques for years and years. I transitioned at 14, I'm now 24, so it's been 10 full years of figuring out how to make my face work. I have not had any facial work done as of yet. I will most certainly be getting it done when I have the money, so make sure that you subscribe down below if you want to watch me get my face peeled off and sewn back on. But for now, we're stuck with makeup. This is causing problems for me. I love you all so much. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. It helps out my channel so much. Also, I put myself through this dysphoria for you, so please leave a comment, leave a like, share it, subscribe, join the family, please. All of my social media is in the description box down below. I am so much more active on there, especially Instagram and TikTok, so make sure that you check me out. Please let me know what you guys want to see from me in the future, and until I see you next week, you are all amazing. Good luck. I love you. Bye.